please my mom, to please my family, to show that I could be what everyone wanted me to be. There was a lot of pressure for me to be amazing because I was the only girl.
Are you ready?
I've been born ready.
Okay. If you are, then who are you?
Who am I? Dig out them sugar, and I. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm back. I apologize. One of the twins came out. We're gonna hold her back. So the normal twin is out. I'm at my core, I'm a nurturer. That's what gets me up every single morning, to nurture others and being the best version of themselves.
What is the best version? What to you is the best version of yourself?
The best version of myself would be, let me think, there's so many. Okay, no, I'm just teasing. Being a grandmother. I'm a new grandmother, so that's kind of my world at this moment for the rest of my life. That's who I am in my core.
So, being a grandmother, being a nurturer, being able to help other people become the best version of themselves is who you are at the core of you. Was that a good summation?
Yes, I would agree.
Let me ask you, how important is mindset in your life?
Mindset is big in my life and in my career and what I have to do. If I don't have a clear mindset every day as I go into my job, because I am in real estate, I do sell mortgages and I do sell vacation ownership. And the mindset in between this head can take you one way or take you the other way. So I always just try to wake up in the morning and listen to church every single day. Before I turn on Instagram, before I turn on any social media, I listen to church just to get my mind, because I give out so much. And if my glass is half full, I can't give to the ones that I love and counsel them and guide them to have a good mindset. I read mindset books. I always look at I have an Instagram inspirational, so I'll look at those every day and just try to motivate myself, because when you're out there in the world, you have to be able to have a positive mind and look through the negative, especially in a world like today, where so much negativity is thrown at us over and over, time and time again, as soon as we pick up social media. So I have to be conscious of just relaxing my mind, either doing gym or just decompressing from the world, so that I can get my mind together. And how I do that is just watching positive affirmations, church, studying my Bible, and just trying to find the happiness in every negative light.
I received that. So when I say to you, what does the inner game equals outer success, what does that mean to you?
Because of my mindset, I believe that I can accomplish anything. And when you tell yourself that over and over and over again, you believe that. It takes 20 days to break a habit. So if you tell yourself, I'm going to think positive about every single thing, and you put that in your forefront, you write down positive affirmations. I have things around my house that, bless this nest, or I didn't have the things I have today. So constantly putting it in my sight. So every time I do have those negative moments, because those negative moments will come, because I'm a salesperson. So when you don't get that sale, it's like, oh my gosh, did I do something wrong? And I have to realize and bring myself back to my core and look at, okay, I could have done this better, or I took from that. It might not have been a sale, but what did you take from it? And try to turn that into a positive for the next sale, or for the next person that is down on their luck and says that this is not going to be, just bringing them back to everything has to be positive. And you have to train your mind daily to be positive. And then it just becomes second nature.
I received that. What are some of the biggest mental blocks you had to overcome to reach where you are today?
A few years, well, not many years ago, but around 2015, my girlfriend, shout out to Valencia, she said, you are just being very negative. She sent me Anthony Brown. I had never heard any of his music.
Okay.
And I started listening to that, and she was like, with positivity, you're going to change your outcome. If you think this, you are this. Absolutely. You are going to be that. You have to change that just because this happened doesn't mean it's the end of the world. You need to listen to those people and listen to other people and go through how they got on top. If you don't have a good mindset, that's going to kill you from doing anything. So just being positive and staying around positive people too, because you do have people that can kind of bring you down into their negative world.
Yes,
so I do
indeed.
try to stay around people that are positive, like it's gonna be okay, that's gonna be the next thing, let's move on, let's move forward and not backwards.
So you've taken that to heart, and that's how you consistently, based on everything you said, you live your life constantly feeding your mind positive and positive things so that you can continue to be positive in your
Absolutely.
life.
You are what you eat.
That's true. You are what you eat.
Hello.
Absolutely. What are your habits what are your 3 top daily habits that keeps your mind sharp and focused?
Reading my Bible.
Okay.
Listening to church when I first get up, and let me see, I write in my journal, just to turn it around, to visualize it, to see it. So I would think that's the first thing that came to mind.
How important is discipline versus motivation in achieving success to you?
To me, you need all 3 in order to be successful. They call them to go hand in hand. If you're not disciplined and you're not motivating yourself, there's not going to be someone's going to give it to you at the end of the road. You have to be disciplined in training and making sure that you're keeping a positive mind, making sure that you're taking those classes to do. If you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a nurse, making sure that you're staying up abreast of the topics and learning as much as you can. That creates the success. So I believe that with success, you have to have discipline and motivation to get up and do it every day and be consistent with it to gain success. And it might not come next year. It might not come in 20 years. Some people are working on things for years at a time and they have that pop out moment and people just think, oh, they just started. No, they've been doing things behind the scene through their discipline and their motivation, and now we're seeing the success that has been created from that path.
I received that.
Me too.
You do?
Yeah, I received
Good.
that. That was a good one.
So my next question is, how do you stay consistent even when you don't feel like it?
Girl, I call y'all. I call on my friends and my loved ones that really love me and know me and my core is, because every day ain't easy, okay? So I'm not even going to fake them. I'm just like, yes, today is. Sometimes I do need those warriors, those butterflies, those phoenixes out there in my world, those survivors to bring me back up to my core. So every day is not easy. We are going to be challenged day in and day out. But I have my Phantom 5 that if I do have a concern at any time of the day, get you some Phantom 5s. Any time of the day, I can call upon them if I'm having a weak moment.
I received that. I'm going to shift a little bit.
And I'm going to have a little beverage.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have any assistants over here to give us more cocktails? Just teasing.
Tell me where you're from.
Well, I'm from Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
I moved to Florida in 2020, but I've been born and raised in Maryland. I went to Shaw University for college for a few years, and then I went to PGE College. So I've been born and raised in Washington, D.C. area, the DMV, and then I moved to Tampa, Florida in 2020, and I'm now in Orlando.
Okay, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 3 brothers. I'm a middle child. My youngest brother, I only have 1 younger brother and 2 older brothers, so there's 4 of us in total.
And you're the only girl?
I'm the only girl.
What was that like?
I'm aggressive because I've had to fight for everything that I didn't want in life. And that probably has helped me cultivate to the person I am today because those 3 brothers did not play with me. I come from a Jamaican household, first generation Jamaicans. My parents came in 1975 and 1977. I was born around that time. I won't give you all the details. But coming from Jamaican parents that came to live in the States and wanted the American dream already was hard, simply because they came and they expected their kids to have greatness. So they wanted the religion. They wanted to come to buy the American dream, buy the house, and raise us in good schools in a good area. But so there was a lot of pressure for me to be amazing because I was the only girl.
I receive it. You said there was a lot of pressure for you to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find yourself being amazing for other people, or do you find yourself being amazing for yourself?
For many, many years, it was for other people. It was to please my mom, to please my family, to show that I could be what everyone wanted me to be. So I will say until probably when I started moving on my own in Florida, I really didn't care anymore. It was more for me and what makes me happy, because I found throughout the way that no matter what you do for people, they are going to be who they are. You can only control you and your emotions and who you are as a person. And so I started to let that go. But for most of my life, it was more of for other people to be proud of me or to look a certain way so that I would be accepted as greatness. That was my idea of growing up.
How did that affect your self-worth?
A lot. I still struggle with that at times in therapy and everything, because I was a thicker child, and I come from a Caribbean background, so that was already, you need to look a certain way, be a certain way, and so I struggled with weight loss throughout my whole life, and that stigma has always still been with me. I was almost 200 pounds, size 16, probably about 20 years ago, so I've been able to keep the weight off now, and I feel much better, but I still have those in the back of my mind. Am I small enough? Am I dressed right enough? Is my makeup good? Is mom or family going to accept me for who I am today?
So what do you say to those negative self-talk? What do you say to that? Like, what is it? Because you've definitely kept the weight off. You've definitely excelled in your career. And when you hear that inner critic, that voice, what do you say to yourself?
We got this. We got this. We made it all this way. We got this. And you're beautiful, because beauty is just not on the outside.
Absolutely
and
not.
I tell my daughter that beauty looks fade. It's who you are on the inside that always is going to tell who you are. So I just stay true to that, and that makes me beautiful. So I no longer have to look for the person in the mirror to be beautiful. It's within me to feel that I'm beautiful, and it just comes full circle.
And so I ask these questions because I think it doesn't really matter how old you are. So many people struggle. Even if they have success, they struggle with knowing that they're enough. And so my next question to you is, you've already said, I've had points in my life where I need people's approval, right? Mm-hmm. I know how to fight the self-talk. Mm-hmm. Do you have any issues with having to be perfect? Everything has to be a certain way.
Yes. Yes. Everything has to be a certain way. I was raised that way. Things need to be in order. You need to look a certain way. You should have this taken care of. So absolutely, it's in my everyday life. So I can't. My friends are not like, what you got on, girl? Wait a minute. Just want to always, because that is how I was raised, and that if you don't look all the way together, then you're not together. So I'm sorry, can you ask that again?
No, you answered the question, but
I did.
Isn't that a lot of stress?
I've learned to just live with it. It's just a part of me, so I don't even look at it as stress.
Do you see perfectionism as a reality? Can we be perfect? Can anyone be perfect?
No. No. But I aim for perfection, but no one's perfect.
So I ask those questions because I want you to understand, and I want the audience to understand, that perfection isn't real.
It's not.
It does not exist.
You will always be failed by it.
And when you say fail, there aren't even failures in life. They're only stepping stones. They're only decisions that we made. Okay, I made a bad decision. What's next? I learned from that. I'm going to keep it moving. So
there's no test without the testimony.
Exactly. And there's no growth without any pain.
Amen.
So we have to really every day work on those three things. My next question is, if Simone could have anything, quote, to use perfect, if you could have, quote, the perfect life, what would that be?
That would be being with my daughter and my granddaughter and seeing them and making sure my mom had her own house and being able to travel with my daughter and my granddaughter. That to me is where I am, and right now in my life, that would be perfect to me.
And you get all of that. You come and you help your mom, you help your granddaughter, you help your mother. what would Simone need then? What's for you? What's for you that would make life, quote, perfect? I hear you talking about everybody else, but what about you?
I don't think I've. Oh, you're making me emotional. I haven't thought about that. It's always about somebody else. This was not supposed to be crying. We're supposed to be happy and joyous and everything.
We are happy and joyous. No, the point of
taking me there, cousin.
I'm not trying to take you there. I'm just trying to.
Don't think about that. Think about everybody else.
No, but the point of the InnerPreneur is to really understand who you are, to understand that you don't need anybody's permission, endorsement, or approval in your life. The only permission, endorsement, approval you need is you. Period. End of story. Always asking, how can I be the best version of myself? So I'm only asking these questions because I believe that somebody will hear this story and they'll look at you and say, I too, me too. I get it. And I don't have to be that way. So it's not my mission to make you cry. It's only
bringing up some stuff that you just don't think about.
Right.
On a regular basis. Think about, how can I take care of my family? What do they need? What do they need? And all of that, them needing, I'm going to be okay. Because them having what they need is going to fulfill me. So I don't sit and think, what do I need for me? What do I need to do for my family to make them the best versions of themselves?
But you can never do that. You can only make you the best version of yourself. That's the only person you can make the best version of yourself. And the best way to show people is by example. People don't hear you, they watch you. And it's more about what you do than what you tell them to do. Right. They see and learn by example. So I know, as I had stated earlier, that you can sell me back my dirty underwear. Mm-hmm. And you do this so well, right?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Based on that premise, you deal with a lot of people. You got to discern who they are in the moment so you can say the right things and understand the right things. Is that a natural gift, or is that something you've really worked at?
No, I haven't really worked with my career. I sell to people that are all over, that are farmland, that are business owners, that are from different countries. So throughout my career, I've learned to kind of deal with all different types of people, their stories. We're counselors within ourselves at a timeshare vacation ownership, because I need to know your family. I need to know where you come from, what you like to do. So I have learned so much from my owners and how to pick up on different personalities, because everyone doesn't need the same thing.
Absolutely.
You can't sell a person just off of emotion. Some people need the logic. They need the breakdown and the numbers. So I have to be able to quickly identify what type of person I'm sitting in front of in order to give them a plan or give them a solution to the problem that they're having, which in this case would be vacations.
Got you. Can you give me 3 strategies that if I wanted to be a better salesperson that I could use?
Say, what was the strategies I did? I talked to very successful salespeople. I harassed them. I shadowed them. I became them.
Got it.
And I got my foundation from that. I studied. I went to other jobs, other platforms to see how they're actually doing it. I went on, because the clients have Facebook pages, so I kind of went there to see what they're grunt to so I can be the opposite and solve that for them. So just doing your research and actually getting involved in the product and knowing people. And I would say the third thing, now we're on the third thing, I forgot what the question was. Can you repeat the question? And I'm going to give you the third one.
Give me 3 strategies.
I gave you two, cousin.
Right? You gave me 2. I'm going to follow someone and emulate what they do. Right? The second one is I'm going to research my client and make sure I'm prepared when they come. Mm-hmm. The third is?
The third is not taking no for an answer. You got to go through 10 no's to get a yes. You cannot give up. You have to be relentless. You have to stand your ground when you know that this is the best thing for them.
I love that. Let me ask you, did you used to take those no's personal?
Yes, like when you hear 10 of them, it can kind of, and you have 50 no's in a week. So you have to be prepared. They're going to say no. But when I get that yes, you have to jump on that yes.
So would you say, if I looked at those no's as a stepping stone to where I belong, to teaching me something, every no teaches me something?
Because you're going to get the no's, you would have just been out of the business.
Exactly. I mean,
the yeses are what matters, but the no's, you have to go through those no's to make you better for the next person that says no to you, that it's going to all come around. But you have to take those no's in order to hear the objections so that you can solve those objections and close on those objections.
So the no's are the journey to teach you to be the best self.
They teach us that. If you're not getting a no, go back and find a no. If they're yesing you and yesing you and yesing you, they're paying you no mind. You need to get some no's, because I would come like, no, they didn't say no about anything. Well, go get the credit card. And they're like, well, now they said no. Exactly, because they never said no at first, and they're just going along with everything you say. You have to find that niche out to jostle them, to make them find a no, so that you can solve that objection before they go into deeding or buy such a big purchase.
Right. You need the connection.
Absolutely.
You need to find their pain points. I receive that. I'm going to ask you just some quick questions. Just quick, punchy questions. And just tell me what you think.
Okay.
Passion or profit? What's more important to you?
Passion.
Why?
Because if you're passionate, you're going to make profit. I'm passionate about everything I do, and it's always going to work itself out.
Then what is your purpose?
My purpose is to be the best version of myself.
I got you. And how often do you step outside your comfort zone?
Right now. I have a fear of public speaking. Let the world know, yes. So when I was working at my job, they were going to pay me an extra $75,000 to $100,000 to do a 30-minute show every day, because I have natural energetic energy and I can bring a crowd together. But many people don't know that's just natural energy. That doesn't mean I want to be the forefront of anyone's stage. So kudos to you, Cousin Tonya, that this is what you like to do. This is not for me. But so the money couldn't even drive me to do it.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. I'm so glad you brought that up. What's the negative talk that you're hearing that you can't, that you keep saying you can't do it? What is your mind telling you?
That public speaking is not, like, everybody's looking at you. They're watching your verbiage, your language, your body movement. I'm not an attention seeker. I want to be in the back, pushing the man to the front. I'll be your backup dancer. I will sing karaoke in the back, but I'm not doing a karaoke. I'm not doing anything that grabs the attention of many people. I can sit one-on-one with my client, absolutely. We're having an intimate conversation with their family in my office, in my home, in my job office, which is my second home. They're in there, so they're in my world. You guys are in my world because I know you, so I'm naturally that person with you guys. But when it comes to speaking in front of people, delivering a message, I'm not that girl.
I heard you say, I feel like you're concerned that they might be judging you.
Yes, absolutely.
Does it matter?
To me, it does.
Why?
Because I've always been raised to be as close to perfection as possible, so I don't want you to judge how I speak or what I'm saying or the topic or what I look like. And I've been a thicker girl my whole life, so in my mind, those things are still within me. I just don't want the judgment. So it's not about the money. I would love the money, but it really is an innate fear that I have. And so now we're trying to overcome.
But I asked you this with all due respect and honesty. You know you have what it takes to do it. And so the only thing that's stopping you
is me.
Is the negative self-talk.
Absolutely.
It's living in the past.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree.
Can I ask you to try something? So you call yourself Moni, right? Mm-hmm. A way to disconnect from negative self-talk is to give that chick T does this a lot. Give
My alter ego.
Give that person a name. So I call my negative self person Ton. I'm not for that today. So I'm gonna move forward.
Oh,
and
my
do
negative person is Momo.
Right.
Momo.
So
she cut up.
Once you can control Momo, the sky's the limit. And it doesn't. I don't care if you're standing in front of 100 people, and you're speaking and doing your best. All the things, I would guarantee you, 90% of the things that you're speaking, I'm going to say 99.9% of the things that you're thinking in your head, they have no concept. They don't know your history. They don't know who you are. They don't know any of those things. If you know your stuff, that's all they're focused on. You're a beautiful woman. You can stand in front of people and be the best version of yourself. And when you get over that hurdle,
sky's the limit.
Thank you. So
I believe that to be true.
I want to thank you for sitting and doing this, because it's very important. You get to see that. It took me a long time to do this, right? Because of my fears. But I decided it does not matter, because the only person that owns me is me. The only person that truly knows me is me.
So how did you decide? Did you just say one day I'm going to just put Ton to the back and I'm going to start a podcast and talk to the world? What were the steps to transition Ton out of the picture when Ton's not needed?
Trying not to be perfect. Trying to figure out, thinking like I can know every single solitary step before I do it. That's unrealistic. It does not make sense. I've learned so much more in the doing. So now my thing is the knowing is in the doing. Right? Mm-hmm. Because the more you know, right, you'll learn the more as you start doing things. Oh, okay, that's how. Trying to experience is the best teacher. That is not a cliche. It is the truth. Right? So at the end of the day, if you spend more time doing instead of listening to your alter ego about all the reasons why you can and why you need to be perfect, you're wasting time.
Yes.
Because in that time, you start to become the best version of yourself, because now you start to believe. And I get better and better at thinking about this and doing this every time I do it.
But it's something you work on every day.
Right.
And have to constantly, because it doesn't just go away. It's
exactly.
just, I still got to deal with this. It's here, but I'm not going to let it control me.
And at some point, you'll walk through. And when that voice comes, you don't even hear it anymore.
Girl, Momo, come on. Girl, right. Get out of here, okay? Right. We're not ready.
And that's exactly. And that's all. And that's the whole point, right? That is the whole point. So I'm not trying to push you to be anything. I'm just telling you, you are. You already are. Right now in this moment, you're already good enough to do whatever you want to do.
Thank you.
Whatever it is. And that's the truth. I'm not just saying it. So my next question is, you told me passion is enough. Have you ever been broke?
Absolutely. broke. To the broke. Couldn't even get the broke of the broke. Okay? I couldn't buy the beat. It was just broke. It was called Oodles and Noodles and Salad. We're going to have a gourmet meal, honey. Mommy is going to do this oodles and noodles and this salad real good.
Tell me about that journey.
It was a struggle. And it was so funny because my ex-wife told me the reason why she fell in love with me is because of the oodles and noodles and salad. Because I wanted a place that I could not afford. But I wanted my daughter to be close to the police station, to be in an area that I can take her to a private school at 3 and know that she's going to be safe. So I sacrificed that, and I had barely any toilet tissue, no salad and oodle noodles. You're going to have your vegetable, baby girl, noodles and noodles at that time. I don't know how much they are now, but it was like 59 cents. And a bag of lettuce, you're not getting the bag because they didn't have the bag. Then you want to chop up this lettuce, and baby girl was going to eat before we go. So bills had not gotten paid, but that private school's paid. And she graduated from Morgan State University, so it was worth those oodles and noodles and that salad. But yes, I have been broke. My friends have had to pay my electric bill in that very same apartment, and my mother had to buy me groceries in that very same apartment, and now I am the one who pays my mother's mortgage.
Look at that.
Or a portion of my mother's mortgage. Yeah, definitely blessed.
What did you learn from that?
That never be too humble. I mean, never think that you're better than. You only a paycheck away from being that person again. Never forget that. Never forget that this was not handed to you, that you had to go through the struggle. London didn't have her father. He was incarcerated, so it was just her and I until I met my ex-wife. So reminding myself of those moments keeps me humble. when I do have those big months or making good money, I still know in the core of who I am.
Is there one thing that you wish you could do? No. Is there one thing that you're doing better today that you didn't do yesterday?
Oh, yes, I'm saying no now. My Aunt Tawana, you had her on your podcast before, your cousin, not the bookend, but the other cousin, told me that no is a complete sentence.
Absolutely.
And I had no idea how to say no to nobody. I would literally go in the negative in my bank to give somebody else something else that they really didn't. It wasn't life or death. It was just because they knew I would do it. And learning no has made me give me so much peace because they're going to figure it out, just like I figured it out. So no, that was the best thing that Auntie could have taught me, and I'm okay with no now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make an excuse for why I can, and I got to pay this, or I'm going this place, or I'm going, just no. I'm just not doing it. And I felt so much stress has been removed, and moving to Florida and being away from all the having arm's distance with the nose makes it a little better as well.
But you found peace in it.
I found peace in it, absolutely. Yes.
That's awesome. So my last question is...
Oh, I made it through. We want a last question.
My last question. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you would like to share?
I mean, now, that I would like to share. Is there anything I should share? I mean, you know my whole life and my whole history. I mean, I don't even know why you need these cards because you know my whole life. This is how we got here because I talked to you too much at the kitchen table. Now I'm all of a sudden a podcaster. I don't even know what I am.
It's all good. It's all good. So then, is there anything you'd like to ask me?
So you are an entrepreneur. This is another one of your ventures. What caused you to be an entrepreneur and not work for someone and get a 9-to-5 paycheck? Or what caused you to do what you do on a daily basis?
I've always, from a very young person, I've always walked to my own beat, my own drum beat. I knew way back when Mayberry was, and I got a job at FCC at 14 years old, from 14 to 16. And they were just giving us jobs because they wanted to give us the opportunity to work. And we sat in there, and that room is in my mind right now. It was dark. It was one big window, but it was dark because they always had the shades down. And for 8 hours, they didn't really have much for us to do. And I thought to myself, I can't do this. I can't sit anywhere like this all day and not be productive. And so I worked, and then I got a scholarship. I went to college. I played basketball. And I wanted to be a news anchor woman at that time.
Really?
And at that time, news anchors weren't making any money. And I thought to myself, I can't do that, which is probably now why I'm here today doing this.
Full circle.
Right.
Wow.
But at the end of the day, I truly always knew that I wanted to work for myself, that I couldn't work for anyone else, and I wanted my freedom. I'm so grateful. I say every day, I'm so grateful for my personal freedom and the autonomy that I have over my life. I have been so blessed in that way. So
since you left college, you just said, I'm going to start some type of business.
Yeah, I had a courier service. It was called Deadline Express, right? I've had a flower shop. Wow. Oh my God, I've had so many things. And then I got into real estate, and that stuck. I like the fact of being able to build back properties. And they're like, like how an artist draws on a board or paints on a board, building back a house and being creative in that matter. It's exciting for me. So, yeah, that's how I got into being an entrepreneur. But now I call myself an InnerPreneur. Yes, and the reason being is because
is InnerPreneur, right, not an entrepreneur.
Right, it's the
inner you.
Exactly. Because if you're not, the goal is to help as many people possible.
Amen.
Not get to the day when they're laying on their deathbed saying, who am I? Why didn't I do all the things I wanted to do? They're
Oh,
not thinking
I love
about anything else but, God, I wish I woulda, coulda. And oftentimes we don't, because we're looking for the three things that we talked about. We let the negative self-talk tell us that we can't do what we can.
Absolutely.
We, more importantly, want to be perfect before we start. And there's no perfection, does not exist. And we definitely don't need the permission or endorsement of anyone to do what we want to do in our lives. So,
Thank you. That gave me, we had never shared that story before, so I love that. I
Yeah.
learned something new about you as well. Thank you so much for having me on InnerPreneur. Hello.
and again, thank you, Simone, for coming. I truly appreciate it. Again, my name is Tonya Camille, and I'm your host. Remember, they always say that if you want to hide something from someone, put it in a book. I really believe if you want to hide something from someone, ask them to look within.
Amen.
Thank you and have a good day.